simply have dozed off. I heard the shuffling of Kevin's belt buckle and the wet sounds of work being done. It was all things I'd heard before. Nothing special. I was busy thinking about how much I liked the pillows and focusing on not opening my eyes. When the first satisfied moan escaped Pepper, I shifted a little to make room as the two bodies lay down on the bed beside me. "Oh, Mr. Smith, what if we wake her up?" Pepper asked. "She sleeps like a rock. It'll be fine," Kevin assured her. Sure enough, the term rock was associated with what was happening in that bed. But it wasn't in relation to my fake sleeping. Pepper moaned and swore under her breath as they did their job. I could hear his breathy dirty talk. "You were such a bad girl. You're a dirty slut. I love how dirty of a slut you are." Real original. For fun, I took everything I heard as out of context as possible and made up silly scenarios in my head as I feigned sleep. Everything seemed to be going according to plan and I'd likely be done in about 45 minutes or so. Then I heard the first cry of pain. Ouch. It was from Kevin, surprisingly, not so hard. Pepper giggled. "Sorry." I could hear her smile in her voice. Kevin cried out again. "Ow. No. What are you? No. No. No." His word was broken down into a long, drawn-out and horrified scream. The change was so sudden that it made me physically jolt. I almost got up and looked over my shoulder to see what was happening. But Jackson's words stuck with me. "No matter what happens, don't open your eyes." Was this supposed to be part of the shoot? I could feel Kevin thrashing on the bed, squirming and writhing as if he was trying to fight off Pepper. That shouldn't have been difficult though. She was less than half his weight. Why was he struggling? I heard nothing from Jackson or the crew. Just silence. Were they still filming? They had to be. I curled into a tighter ball and kept quiet, letting everything unfold behind me. Kevin's screams reached an awful, ear-splitting crescendo before they ended abruptly. I heard a low gurgling sound escape him before all movement ceased. Then I heard a wet, tearing noise. Just that sound sent shivers down my spine. I wanted to look, but I told myself not to. Jackson was still filming. This had to be part of the film. This was just some sort of fetish porn. That made sense, right? I didn't know much about the company, so it only made sense they were making some niche shit. I should have asked more questions. This was my fault. The tearing sound came again and just the awful wetness of it made me want to vomit. I remained still, keeping my eyes closed and pressing my hands over my mouth. The world around me was silent save for the tearing of flesh and chewing. That had to be it, chewing. I heard it clearly now. Was something eating Kevin? Where were Jackson and the crew? I almost opened my eyes, but thought better of it. What if what was behind me was something I didn't want to see? Slowly, my reluctance to open my eyes turned from professionalism to fear. I don't know how long I lay there, listening to that sickening tearing and chewing. But it felt like it went on for hours. Then I felt the weight on the bed shift. I felt something climbing on top of me. Pepper? I could feel her lips close to my ear. I could smell her rancid hot breath and feel the blood and saliva dripping from her mouth. Her breathing was heavy and feral. I kept my eyes closed. Pepper seemed bigger than I remembered. Her arms were over my head. Her legs were down past where my legs were. Maybe it was because I was curled up, but she seemed longer and spindly. My eyes remained closed tight. Whatever horror I imagined was standing over me, I only wanted to imagine it. In my heart, I knew that seeing it would only make things worse.